us again. And okay, next up we have Ankita Didi and Sudev Bhaiya. Ankita Didi is from the 2018 batch, and Sudev Bhaiya is also from this 2018 batch.
All the best, President.
So, is the screen visible? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
So, good evening, everyone. Fasten your seatbelts. We are going to go on a journey in making the Horcruxes. So, for all the non-Harry Potter fans out there, let me just give you a brief description of what a Horcrux is. What is a Horcrux? Normally, even though you haven't read the storybook, you must have seen enough memes about the noseless villain of Harry Potter series, Mr. Voldemort. This Voldemort used to have a very weird fear of dying. So what he did, he divided his soul into 7 parts and he stored them into specific living and non-living items. And then when he died, he actually did not die. He could come back with the help of these Horcruxes back to the life to torment his old enemy Harry Potter again. So we could say that Horcruxes can be a path to immortality, to be reincarnated even after the death of the current body. The reincarnated self is supposed to have the same consciousness, functional abilities, and the Horcrux is usually a magical item which is associated with the death of certain individuals. And to activate a Horcrux, you require someone's life force to bring the owner back to life. So, giving a logical scientific explanation of Horcruxes to immortality, we will be handling two major important aspects of it. One is the consciousness of the individual and the physical body, which has been perished in the other section of the life. So we are going to make these two come together to bring the person back to life. So handling the human clone. How to make a human clone? So it's a well-established, not in case of humans, but in case of other mammals, it's a well-established method, somatic cell nuclear transfer. What it's done here is that you take a somatic cell, which is obviously diploid in nature. You take a host cell, which is devoid of any kind of genetic material. You add the genetic material of your somatic cell into this, and you form a kind of a competent oocyte. This acts like a fertilized egg, and therefore, what does a fertilized egg does? It keeps on dividing. So it keeps on dividing till it reaches a stage called blastomere stage. This is here, we are going to freeze the cell. Why do we, so you will be asking, how do we freeze the cell? There are certain elements and certain stuff which help you to freeze this cell. I'll not be going into details here because of the time constraints. So we take this blastomere and store it into the liquid nitrogen system. Now, since the magical counterpart is Horcruxes, I will not be using that since we have certain differences amongst them. Let us indicate our new device as device H. So device H has a liquid nitrogen compartment which stores the blastomere cells of our individual who wants to have a Horcrux. Next is you have the cell, you have the baby. What do you want for the baby to grow? You want the nutrients. So the nutrient for its growth will be in its dry powdered form and shall be pumped in within the system when it's activated. I'll be handling this question in the further slides. One of the drawbacks of the entire thing is that the growth of the embryo will require device H to be at least 50 centimeters. I will be handling this point also later in the slides. Next is consciousness. So in the beginning, I said that Lord Voldemort divided his soul into 7 parts. So what is a soul? Even though we don't have any physical description or any kind of proof of soul, we could say a part of our individuality of what the person is or the consciousness of the person can be considered as a part of his soul. So to store a person's consciousness or what makes him to be a person, we require some complex methods. So what we're going to do here is that we don't require to make a brain. What we require here is to we need to kind of create the scaffold which supports the algorithms which has been happening in the brain. So if we can replicate those algorithms in a very synthetic situation, we can create a mind which is identical, not same, but identical. So normally a human brain has a unit of the human brain is obviously neurons. Everyone knows that. So for artificial brain, the unit of it is called perceptrons. So normally a simple perceptrons cannot process very complex kind of behaviors. if you say hi to it as an input, it's going to give you a hi out, but it cannot answer the question, what's your name? So to answer complex questions like that, we go for multi-layered neural networks. Such multi-layered neural networks and with certain devices and certain modifications can be programmed into a chip. After all, perceptions here are nothing but codes. So we can program them into a chip which is present, which we can insert in device H. This chip when can be activated when it is charged, which I mean by the death of the individual who made it, and all the stored data can be let me say how the data is stored. If you observe this, X1, X2, and Xn here are the perceptrons. And they are the inputs which is being relayed into these sections. The hidden layers are the portion where you are going to store these particular data. So hidden layer is the main brain of the artificial brain, and it has the ability of synthesizing or going with is the ability to give the input to output. It's the main region, the working portion of the brain. So this is hidden layers which is going to store your informations, and this particular chip shall be activated once it gets charged. And once it gets charged, you would remember our clone, right? So the clone, all the information stored in the middle layer shall be transferred to the growing clone through nerve impulses, which are of course electrical impulses, and it has to be controlled. You would be thinking that this is so much out of our current thinking and stuff like that, but it's nothing like that. It is a well-established experiment. IBM's Blue Gene supercomputer has successfully evaluated the processing power of a brain of 1.6 billion neurons. So we are not far away from creating our Horcrux. Next is the device H, what we are trying to make. So the device H, on the right-hand side topmost corner, you will see a small packet and a goat inside it. This is what happened with the Dolly the sheep. So you would remember this is the most synthetically prepared organism outside our body. What it does, it flows out an amniotic fluid. It circulates an amniotic fluid which has lipids, antibodies, amino acids, proteins, glucose, anything which is required for the growth of the organism. And it doesn't actually require a surrogate to grow the organism, so it can be done artificially. So if you were asking the human clone, how will it grow without a particular human body? So it can grow like this artificially. And the one picture that you see at the bottom is the much more modern version of it, and it's been worked upon by Eddington University of Technology, and they have been preparing these artificial wombs for IVF techniques for surrogate in place of surrogate mothers. So I would like to draw some parallels between my device H and the Horcruxes as mentioned by the famous J.K. Rowling in her famous books. Device H needs to be activated by someone. As in Harry Potter, Riddle's diary had to be activated by Ginny in the Chamber of Secrets, if you would remember. Then there would be, it requires an energy source for the regular nutrient pumping and the working of the system. It requires Similarly, a Horcrux requires a life force, without which it's just a memory. As again, I would like to refer to the second movie of it, The Chamber of Secrets. It has been clearly mentioned, I am just a memory without a life force. Now, the only disparity of this device H with that of the Horcrux is that throughout the series, J.K. Rowling did not mention anything about how the particular individual will be born after being used with the help of a Horcrux, because but here, specifically through device H, it will be born as a baby with all the consciousness of the adult as it was before its untimely death. Now you'll be asking the question, Harry Potter, in the Harry Potter movies, Horcruxes had very several types of shape, size, and inanimate objects, be it a diadem, be it a locket, or be it the snake Nagini itself. How are we supposed to fit this entire huge 50-centimeter huge device into this particular small items? Now, as you would remember, Lord Voldemort divided his soul into 7 portions. We could say that the soul is the consciousness, and the chip, which is a very small device, can be hidden in anything, as well as living organisms in subcutaneous tissues. So here we have it, your Horcrux. And minded, we are not allowed to make this Horcrux because it's unethical. We can't do human cloning because it's unethical. But this is how we can explain how evil magicians used to make copies of themselves. So maybe evil scientists can also make copies of themselves. These are some of the references we used. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you, Sudhir Bhaiya. This is really interesting. The Potterhead in me is thoroughly impressed. Okay.